The story begins with Sehanjin, who was late for school. She does her makeup and gets ready in a few minutes. Her mom teases him, saying if she had a crush on Sejun. She starts getting flustered and denies it. Her father also hears their conversation and teases her as well, saying he was disappointed in her. She takes her pocket money and goes straight to Senjun's apartment. His father answers the bell and told her that he already left. She runs to catch him and she was really fast. She was learning jujutsu and was very athletic. She found Senjun was a big guy and loved to play games. She scolds him for not waiting for her, to which he replies that he wanted to walk to school slowly, unlike her. She advises him to learn jujutsu with her and lose some weight. Just then, he saves her from a car hitting her head. We could see that Heijin really likes him, but he doesn't understand. In the class, he sees a guy getting bullied as usual, because he didn't give them money in time. The guy told the bully that his family was having a hard time, but the bully gets annoyed with his sob story and starts beating him. This was like any other day. Kids get bullied by them every day, but for some reason, Senjun couldn't just watch them do as they please. The bully was asking the guy to buy sweet red bean bread for him, and Senjun gives him the bean bread but not in so gentle way. He shoved the bread in his mouth and he starts bleeding. The bully obviously gets pissed and starts hitting him while threatening him that his school life would be miserable now. He keeps hitting him but Senjun doesn't even feel his punches and asks the bully if he was okay instead. When the fist doesn't work, he grabs the chair and starts hitting him with that, but Senjun just avoids all his attacks. Just then, Heijin also comes to the same class and was shocked to see what was going on. Senjun tries to stop her and told her that it was his fault. She asks the guy if he had done that to his face. The guy gladly admits it and advises her to choose her friends carefully as Senjun's life was going to be hell now. Senjun also tries to explain to her, but before he could say anything, she tackles the bully. After tackling him to the ground, she locks him in a chokehold. The bully was powerless now against her. Senjun tries to stop her and takes her outside by force, while she kept threatening the guy to never touch Senjun. After she was gone, the bully makes excuses like how he was caught off guard. He asks the other guy if Gisiek came to school. After some time, the bully gets back with their leader Gisiek. Senjun apologizes to him for what he did earlier, but Siek still slaps him and told him to fight him. Senjun still doesn't get angry and apologizes again. Siek accepts his apology and leaves him alone. His lackey asks him if he really was gonna just leave him be. He assures him saying he had another plan. The next day at school, the guy that was being bullied told Senjun to go see Heijin in her class. Heijin's desk was destroyed with ink. Same goes for her dress also. Her dress was completely soaked in ink. She tries to ask her classmate about the guy who did it, but they didn't want to talk to her and ignored her. Senjun comes to her class and gives his shirt to her and takes her to the bathroom. The bullies were watching all this and were not satisfied with the result, as Senjun still looked calm. Gisoek assures them saying he would come to them himself. In his class, the bullied guy apologizes to him for getting him involved in his situation. Senjun told him that it was not his fault but someone else was responsible for it. Senjun was pissed. He goes to Gizok's class to meet him. Gizok had already anticipated that he would come. He told Gizok to apologize to Heijin and pay for her dress. Gizok admits that it was he who did that and denies apologizing to her. Senjun was relieved that he was not going to apologize, otherwise he would have to let him go. The lackey gets angry at his cocky behavior and attacks him, but Senjun punches him before he could, distorting his face. The other lackeys attack him as well, but he took down all three of them in just a few moves. But now he was out of breath because of his size. Gizok mocks him for being so slow. Gizok already knew that he was aiming to one-punch him. Senjun tries to provoke him as well by calling him a bug who only knows how to dodge. While the guy was replying to him, Senjun attacks the lower part of the body to tackle him to the ground. But Gizok locks him in a chokehold instead. As Senjun was about to pass out, Heijin comes there and kicks Gizok in the face and saves Senjun. Gizok was furious because he got hit by a girl. His lackey told him that she knows jujutsu, but he doesn't care about that, saying she was still a girl. He grabs her by her hair, while Senjun gives him a sign to run away. She asks him if he has ever got beaten up by a girl before. Gizok gets pissed and attacks her. She dodges his attack, tackles him onto the ground, and locks his hand in a jujutsu hold. Gizok immediately accepts his defeat, but she doesn't let him go. He admits all the things he had done wrong and promised her to never do that again. After he begs her to stop, she finally stops and lets him go. After they were gone, his lackey reminds him of what would happen if they didn't collect the money and give it to someone named Do Hyun. Gizok comes up with an idea to deal with Haejin. While coming back home, Haejin keeps pushing him to join the Jujutsu with her. Senjin gets annoyed at her and goes on a separate way without leaving her at the gym like he usually does. Haejin was sad because she wanted to spend more time with him. After arriving at his apartment, Senjin regrets giving her the cold shoulder and goes to sleep. While he was sleeping, his father comes storming to his room and asks him why he wasn't answering his calls. Senjin sees he had a bunch of missed calls from his father and Hanjin. He asks his father what the problem was, and his father told him what happened to Hanjin. She brutally beaten up and was hospitalized. Her injuries were severe and many bones were broken in her body. Senjin came running to the hospital where she was admitted to. He came all the way there running barefoot and his legs were bleeding. A detective asks him if he was her friend. As time goes by, Senjin starts getting more anxious thinking about why there were cops and how bad her injuries were. The detective told him that it was some kind of group assault and asks him if she had any recent issues with someone. He told them about the bullies from the school. Senjin asks the detective how bad her injuries were that she had to go through surgery. The detective told him that she was found in an alley after being assaulted and falling unconscious. Her face was presumed to be assaulted by fists, especially the right side of her face. It got hurt pretty bad, and the most serious part was the left knee. Judging by injuries, they deduced that her knees got twisted using a martial art technique. The doctor told her parents that she was out of danger for now, but in her case, the mental after effects are more serious than the physical. Senjin was also listening to this in the corner. They go inside to see her and Hanjin couldn't stop crying no matter how hard he resisted. A few days later, Senjin was lashing out at the detective because he was telling him that the bullies were not the culprit. They didn't have any physical proof against them and their alibi also checks out. The CCTV camera that was supervising that alley was broken. While the detective was explaining all this, Senjin notices the documents related to the incident. This was the Gold Officetel building. This is where that incident happened. Senjin told him how his teacher's saying to go to the police because the incident happened outside the school, and how the police are now saying that they couldn't do anything without physical evidence. While leaving the police station, Senjin told them that he would take care of this himself. The detective asks an officer to keep an eye on him and stop him from doing something stupid. At the Officetel Hotel, Gizok comes out with his friends. Now Senjin was sure that it was he who did that to Haejin. Senjin stops him and asks him if he was really responsible for Haejin's situation. Gizok laughs at him for thinking of taking revenge like this was some kind of movie. While he was mocking him, he punches him so hard that he goes flying. Senjin attacks the other guy as well, and as he was about to attack Gizok again, he dodges his attack and goes for the lower part of the body. Jessiak succeeds in tackling him on the ground, locks his hand with his leg, and starts punching him continuously. Senjin was unable to move. After that, he goes for Senjun's arm and says that he was going to make him like his girlfriend. Just as he was about to break his arm, a guy stops him. The guy was shirtless and jacked as hell. Seeing that guy, Gizok immediately knows that he was dangerous and lets go of him. But seeing his friend watching him, he starts to argue with him. Just then the guy shows his skill and calls the cops. Gizok leaves after threatening Senjin to kill him the next time he comes to this school. After he was gone, Senjin thanks him for saving him. The guy sits with him and told him that he was Hanjin's friend. They go to the same gym to learn Jujutsu. He asks him about Hanjin's condition and if she has woken up by now. He told Senjin that it wasn't Gizok that did that to Hanjin but someone else. Senjin eagerly asks him if he had any proof, but unfortunately, he didn't. He handed him over a flyer of their gym, saying if he were to attack him now, he would definitely lose, no matter how hard he tries. He would have to be stronger if he wanted to get revenge. He leaves after that. The next day, Senjin goes to the gym. He was still not sure if he should join the gym when two more students also come there and take him inside. The guy, Jason, was also there sleeping on the gym mat, who told them that he was the guy that Haejin used to talk about all the time. He was like a celebrity at this point. The instructor also reduces the fee for him, but Senjin was still hesitant. The other student suggests that they should teach him for free. He suggests that Senjin was tall and had a nice figure. If he could properly lose weight, he could be the perfect model for their marketing. They all found this to be a great idea and make all the decisions for him themselves. Senjin thinks that it was a bad idea to get entangled with them and tries to leave when Jason catches him. Senjin says to himself that he was dead now. It has been 3 months now since he joined the gym. The other student compliments Senjin on how much he had improved in these last 3 months, and their diet project time was also over now. Senjin had a lot of weights in just these 3 months. He was like a completely different person now. Not only did he lose weight, but he also got 2 stripes in 3 months. They were not sure if even they could win against him now. Just after the training was over, Jason took Senjin for muscle training. Senjin struggles to pull up 12 times, while it was easy work for Jason. Senjin calls him a monster. Jason asks him about Heijin. 12 days after the incident, Heijin woke up, but when Senjin tried to approach her, he sees the coldness in her eyes, telling him not to come any closer. During the psychiatric counseling, she said that she didn't want to meet anybody else except her family, and a few weeks later they moved to another location to focus on her rehabilitating. Jason asks him if he was really going to take revenge on those guys who did that to her. He advises him not to use martial arts for personal revenge, but he leaves it up to him to decide, and he had made his decision 3 months ago. The next day at school, Gizok orders his lackey to collect the money from the students. In his classroom, a girl told him that a tall and handsome guy was asking for him and told him to come to the rooftop. Gizok thinks it was his boss, Do Hyun. Meanwhile, his lackey was collecting the money from the students by threatening to make their school life living hell if they were to refuse. Just then, Senjin also comes there and told all the innocent students to go. The guy didn't recognize Senjin. One of them tries to mock him and he punches him so hard that he gets knocked out in just one punch. Senjin yells again at the students to go. One other guy tries to stop them but gets a strong kick to his belly instead. One by one, he took care of all of them, except their leader. He slams him against the wall and told him to tell Gizok that he was now warmed up and was ready to fight. At the rooftop, Gizok gets a call from his lackey who tells him about Senjin, and that he was coming to him. Just as he was about to open the door, Senjin slams the door in his face. Jesiak recognizes him and makes fun of him for trying to get revenge, when Senjin suddenly attacks him. Gizok started bleeding but still was standing. He wasn't planning on going down without putting up a fight. Senjin observes his movements and fights him exactly how he was trained. He was predicting how Gizok would react in panic and was moving accordingly. After getting hit by Senjin again, he gets into a guard position called Flower of Jujutsu. Senjin remembers what Jason had taught him about this position. The weakness of this technique was the thighs. Senjin kicks him in his thighs with all his power, making him lower his guard. He easily manages to dominate him, because he used to train with Jason, and he was nowhere near Jason's level. Gizok provokes Senjin, saying Heijin was also acting tough like him, but in the end, she was begging for her life. Gizok blames him for not going with her to the gym and not answering her calls that day. Senjin was distracted now by his thoughts. Taking advantage of that, Gizok frees himself from his grasp and attacks him directly to the face, which he blocks. He was punching him continuously but Senjin kicks him in the face and takes control of the fight again. He asks him who else was involved in Heijin's situation. He gets on top of him and hits him with all his power to his face. He promises to pay them 100 times worse while crying. After getting hit by Senjin for some time, he begs to stop. Senjin asks him again who else was there, and when he doesn't answer him, he threatens to break his arm. Gizok realizes that he wasn't messing around and was really going to break it. As he was about to break his arm, Gizok told him that it was Do Hyun, a third-year student. There were students from other schools as well, but he didn't know about them. Just then, a teacher also comes there. Gizok laughs at him saying his life was over. Senjin kicks him again in front of the teacher. At the principal office, Gizok's parents were yelling at him. Gizok's mom was pissed and tries to slap him, but he rudely blocks her. Just then, Senjun's father also comes there and apologizes to them for his son's action. But it was not enough. They wanted him to get kicked out of the school. They keep calling Senjin foul words and that make his father angry. Gizok's father accidentally reveals that he had connections with the principal, so Senjun's father also uses his connection and calls someone. The principal recognizes the voice. It is the chairman himself. While going home, his dad asks him if he was doing it because of Heijin and leaves him to do as he sees fit. At the gym, he makes excuses that he had an accident. They start their sparring. Senjin told the guy with the glasses to not hold back this time, and that's what he did. He didn't hold back. In every spar, he defeated him measurably, but he was impressed with Senjun's brute strength. After defeating him in all the fights, he advises Senjin that he should meet with Heijin because he was the only one she would like to meet at the moment. At the school, after getting discharged from the hospital, Gizok was summoned by the third-year student, Du Hyun. He asked him if he had collected all his money. Gizok told him how he was interrupted by Heijin's friend and was beaten by him. Du Hyun takes his shirt off and told him to spar with him right now. Du Hyun beats him brutally, and when he accepts his defeat, Du Hyun says that he was going to stop when he wants and starts beating him more intensely. After he was done with him, he orders his lackey to bring Senjin to him, or he would be his sparring partner next time.
After ordering them to bring Lee Sejun, Do Hyun threatens them that if they cannot do it, he will beat them up. In front of the hospital, Sejun's waiting. Hajin arrives with her mom. Her mom notices him. Sejun greets her. Her mom is surprised that Sejun looks different as he lost weight. She asks if he has eaten anything, then Hajin says if they are going to a cafe then to follow her. Sejun asks Hajin how she is doing. She says nonchalantly that she is doing okay. Then she asks why he is here all of a sudden, that he even called beforehand. Sejun apologizes that it has been quite a while since he last called. He says that he has lots of things to do and that he is learning jujutsu at the same gym Hajin used to go to. Sejun says that the guys from the gym miss her a lot. Then Sejun asks Hajin if she is attending any school. Hajin says that it is just a waste of her grade, so she will take GED instead. Sejun teases her about her grades and she gets furious, saying her grades are better than his, addressing him as a pig. Sejun laughs and says that she can't call him pig anymore as he lost a lot of weight. To this, Hajin blushes. Sejun is relieved seeing Hajin is doing better than he thought. According to the detective, Hajin said she didn't remember what happened that day due to mental shock and short-term memory loss. They said that her memory will be back later. Sejun wonders if her memories of that day are back a little and if it is okay if he asks about what happened that day. He is about to ask, but he gets startled by a loud noise. He notices Hajin is trembling and crying from the trauma, reawakened by the noise. He rushes towards her saying it is okay, that it was just a door. He reaches her shoulder to comfort her, but she screams not to touch her and urges him to call her mom. Sejun realizes then that it was just his wish for her to be okay. He feels determined on what he needs to do now. At the classroom, the loser bully, seeing Sejun's not present at the time, picks on a random boy, and then Sejun appears behind him and asks if he knows Sun Dayan from 3rd grade. The bully says that he knows him, then Sejun orders him to bring that guy to him. Do Hyun is studying in his classroom, and his buddy comes and invites him to come with them to a hangout with girls. To this he says that he has to go to work out after school. CSAT is around the corner, so he is preparing for it too. The buddy says he does not have a good grade, so what is the point in trying? Do Hyun says that it is better than not trying at all. At that moment, the bully from Sejun's class comes and tells to Do Hyun that he has brought Sejun. Sejun comes straight to Do Hyun and asks if he is Do Hyun. That buddy shouts at him for being rude. Then Do Hyun tells him to not mind it and stop it. Do Hyun asks him that he is the kid who beat up Gizyuk, so why he is here to see him. Sejun demands to tell him everything that happened that day with Hajin. Do Hyun asks who Hajin is and tells him to explain the way he would understand. Sejun forbids him to play dumb and that he already has a recording of Gizyuk mentioning his name. He asks him what the meeting is about. Do Hyun gets annoyed and says if he is going to tell the police and if it is even considered valid evidence to them. Sejun says that if he mentions his name, he will be in an awkward situation and he does not want to get involved with the police either. As to why, he says he wants to find each of them and mess them up with his own hands. Do Hyun laughs at Sejun's words and says that he likes him now. He agrees to cooperate with Sejun. He will tell everything he knows, but not for free. Do Hyun says that Sejun has been making a fuss with the second years these days, so the atmosphere has been really bad so about what Gizyuk was doing before he beat him up. Sejun needs to finish it for him. He does not care how he does it, but he needs to collect the money for him. If he does, then he will answer the questions he has. When Sejun says that he is not the type of thug, to this Do-hyun gives him an option to fight him if only he is confident that he can. Then Do-hyun suddenly lands a speedy punch on his cheek and stops right before hitting his face. He offers to spar with him. If he wins, he will tell everything he knows. Sejun glares at the fist touching his cheek. Do-hyun says that based on the look in his eyes, he seems to choose the latter. But Do-hyun takes a step back saying what should they do as they cannot spar right now. Their class is starting. The teacher comes and asks what is going on. Do-hyun responds that a junior came here to play a bit. Then Do-hyun says to Sejun, putting his arm around his shoulder, that as they do not have the time now, he needs to give him his answer by tomorrow. Sejun shakes of his arm saying fuck off. Do-hyun says that Sejun needs to fuck off. It is his class. After school, Do-hyun's classmates again ask him about the hangout with girls, but he keeps on refusing as he needs to work out. Then he gets a message from his mom saying that the creditors are at his home, so not to come home and sleep at his friend's place. Sejun on his way after school, thinking about the punch earlier. He noticed right before it was about to hit his face. Moves at that speed where he cannot even see the punch. He wonders if it is boxing. He thought he had good eyes, but it was faster than he thought. If it is like that, then he would get knocked out before he can even show his jujutsu skills. He wonders if Jason will tell him if he asks him. Right then he gets a call from Jason, says that he is almost there and will see him in a bit. Then he encounters two bullies on his way. Do-hyun comes abruptly from behind. He says that they have something to do. Sejun gets startled. Do-hyun says that he is in a kind of situation, so he needs to hear his answer from earlier now. If he wants to fight, then to fight today instead of tomorrow and finish collecting money tomorrow. Sejun wonders how he can say all that so calmly. Sejun has already decided on his answer, so he does not care when they fight. Then he says if it is going to be 3 against 1. Do-hyun tells him not to worry about that and to wait. He tells him to do what he normally does. Then he pulls out his boxing gloves. Sejun is surprised. Do-hyun says this is just in case he does not kill him when he hits him. Sejun thinks about Do-hyun, that what kind of guy he is. They start sparring. Do-hyun comes at him in full speed before Sejun could even react. Do-hyun punches him. Sejun cannot believe that he is this fast. Then he punches to the side of his stomach, then goes for his face, but Sejun somehow manages to block it. Then he goes for endless fast blows, and now about to finish with one blow. At that moment Sejun goes for a strike on his face but fails. Do-hyun punches him from below in his chin. Sejun leans on Do-hyun, making him think that he fainted. Then Sejun saying he is so fast, he grabs onto Do-hyun. Do-hyun asks him if he is a grappler. Sejun plans to bring him to the ground to win, but Do-hyun hits him with his hard shoulder on his side chin again. He got hit in his chin so much that he feels dizzy. Do-hyun says that there are many people like him these days, saying wrestling and jiu-jitsu are the best martial arts to use in real life. He asks him if he knows why while punching him. He says it is because they have never been in a bad situation before. Sejun coughs off blood. Do-hyun says further that it is just that the stronger ones win. He tells him that they will not bother him anymore so as to not interfere with their business, and he also says that what happened to Hajin, he feels bad for that too. He tells him to think that she just stepped on sh ##. Sejun grabs his shirt, saying not to say her name with his dirty mouth, and he is not planning on giving up here. He shouts that he did not even start yet and grabs his thigh. Do-hyun is surprised that he still has a lot of energy. Do-hyun thinks this is his last chance. Do-hyun then breaks free from his grasp. Sejun is in a daze. Do-hyun says if he keeps going like this, it is not going to work. Do-hyun tells him Yakia Kangsik, a Chinese abbreviation which means weak becomes the meat and strong eats the meat. If he cannot understand it, just remember it. No matter how good the world looks, nature will never change. The proof is that he won't get any information from him. He tells him to rest well for a few days while striking a blow at him. At that moment, to everyone's surprise, Jason appears and takes the blow in his cheek. Being unfazed, Jason says it is faster than he thought. The gym mates that came along with Jason and make fun of his face. Do-hyun is surprised that he is completely fine despite landing the punch properly. One of the bullies grabs one of the gym guys' shoulder, asking who they are. He shouts at him saying if he knows how scary these days kids are. Then he makes a painful face screaming as if he hurt his shoulders badly. The bully is taken aback. The guy shouts to call an ambulance. Basically, he makes fun of the bully. The passersby enjoy it. Do-hyun asks Jason who he is. Human, Jason responds. He further asks how he is still fine after being hit earlier. Jason says it was like his 7-year-old nephew's punch. Do-hyun notices people nearby taking videos of them while laughing. He says that he will see him again soon. Jason asks him where he is going. He turns around assuming Jason is asking for a fight. He says to let go today, but Jason says that is not it. Police here to pick him up. At the police station, Do-hyun told the police that they were just sparring. But the police says he will need to ask the victim as the victim's statement is more important. Then he will decide whether to contact the school or not. Do-hyun gets tensed up that if a police case is filed, he will not be able to participate in the competition anymore, let alone collect money. But he felt hopeful as Sejun said earlier that he does not want to get involved with police either. He cannot make any hasty statement as he wants something from him. However, Sejun blatantly says that he was assaulted. Do-hyun is suspended from school. Jason asks Sejun over a meal if he is going to keep doing this. Jason guesses that the guy, Do-hyun, knows what happened to Hajin and that he had to fight him to get information. Sejun confirms he is right. Jason asks why and if he is going to fight anyone he finds related to this case. Jason says Do-hyun must have worked out for about a month or two. No matter how good Sejun is, that guy is already like a professional. He asks if he is going to fight someone like that as Sejun only learned jujutsu for 2-3 months. Jason hopes Sejun would stop before getting hurt. Besides, the detective is still investigating Hajin's case. If Sejun just waits, there will be news. Sejun stops Jason in his mid-sentence saying no. Sejun says apart from investigating, Hajin is still suffering and that he is going to protect her using his own methods. Those people who assaulted Hajin are walking around fine and smiling. Sejun is going to find each and every one of them and beat them the same way they did to her. Jason then says that, before all that, Sejun will not be able to practice today as he ate ramen. He tells him to run 20 km. Do-hyun, in his phone checking a message that his participation fee hasn't been paid yet within the period, the police has also confirmed the case, making it impossible for him to participate in this competition. A guy with tattoos and scar slaps away his phone off of his hand while he was checking the message. He calls him rude for checking his phone while he was speaking to him. The guy is pissed that Do-hyun is glaring at him and acting up. He orders him to put his eyes down, but Do-hyun does not budge. Then he suddenly laughs, saying Do-hyun is definitely one of them, patting his head. The tattoo guy then politely tells him to just do what he says. He can follow them around while learning how to work and pay them back. He adds that he will make it easy and won't raise the interest anymore. Leaving behind a wife and kid, thanks to Do-hyun's father, his life is worth nothing. He tells him to put a good use of his worthless life using his strength. It is the same as ripping off students at his school, but their work is legal. He says that Do-hyun does not have money this time and his mother also got fired, so what is he gonna do? He offers him to work for him, or should he introduce a good job to his beautiful mother? Then Do-hyun responds that next month he will pay him back, including this month's amount as well. The tattoo guy asks what if he cannot pay him back 2 months worth of money. Do-hyun says he will do anything he tells him to do. The tattoo guy agrees to this. Do-hyun needs to collect more money to participate in the next month's competition, so he orders his lackeys to collect more money from students, and when he goes back to school he will take care of Sejun, but before that he decides to take care of Jason first. In the gym, the two gym mates are surprised to see Jason dressed up in suits for the first time. They are guessing he must be going on a date. Unfazed by their excitement, Jason says it is just a former coworker and he will be a little late. He tells them to warm up and the instructors are almost at the gym. Jason on his way to meet the person, on a phone call with the person, and suddenly a kid comes to him asking for help. He says his friend is getting beaten up in the alley. Jason tells him to take him there. But Jason meets Do-hyun in the alley. He is pissed at him that he reported him to the police and now he is in a bad situation. He adds that it will get dirty this time. Then the kid that asked for his help goes to hit him with a baseball bat, but to everyone's surprise, a pretty woman shows up and stops the bat from hitting him. The kid shouts at the woman to mind her own business, calling her a jumma, which means old woman. pisses her off, so she says she will give him a chance to call her Nuna, which means older sister. But the kid does not listen and gets hit in his throat. She asks if school teaches them what happens if they get hit in the head by a baseball bat. In a foul mouth, the kid says she is a teacher or what. Then she demonstrates how they used to get beaten up back in her days by hitting hard in his butt. It made a loud noise. She gets excited and hits him again on the back of his knees. Then she introduces herself as someone who used to get bullied when she was young by people like them. There are 3 more bullies besides the kid. The woman told all 3 of them to come to her at once, as one by one is not fun for her. Jason stops her, saying she will unalive someone with the bat and will get in serious trouble if she beats someone up real bad. She asks him if he met Jesus or something for his change of character, then she tells him, grinning, that there is no CCTV. Suddenly, one of the bullies kicks Jason. The bullies calls them a foo ## old couple. A bunch of idiots. Then the woman suddenly hit him in his nose with her bat, calling him brave. He goes flying. Then the other bully tries to intimidate her with his bat, shouting that he has a bat too, but she hits him in his hand, then the back of his knees. He falls down. She then looks at Do-hyun, saying only one left now. Do-hyun is scared that he had never seen such moves before. He worries if he does not do his best, he will die. The woman comes in front of him in a flash. He is startled and throws a punch in reflex. She is standing behind him. She talks to herself, where should a boxer get hit to be the most fatal? Rather than psychological, damaging the body is more effective. He throws countless punches at her, but she dodges all of those. He lures her to a corner as he planned. He is about to throw his final blow at her, but in the split second she sticks the bat in the wall vertically. She gets down and he breaks the bat into shreds. She pulls down his arm from below, then locks his head in the ground using her legs, saying as his fists are strong, she will choose the elbow instead to break. Do-hyun shouts not to break the joints. The woman asks why. She tells him that guys like him are like monsters, like zombies in the movies that look like humans. It means she can kill them without feeling guilty and can release lots of stress too at the same time. Do-hyun urges her to hear him out first, that he had no choice but to do this. She says she has no interest in his story at all and to keep on barking. Do-hyun shouts that he has to keep boxing. Then Jason knocks him out. Shin Soo-hyun, the woman, is disappointed with Jason that he knocked him out when it was getting fun for her. Jason tells her to not joke around like that as they are still young. She whines that it is fun, monsters don't have age anyway, and that Jason knows better. Jason and Soo-hyun get out of the alley. Jason asks her if she got the data he asked for, the investigation data of Hajin. Collecting such data is a piece of cake for her. She says the investigation data was clean, but she did not stop there. She says there are 2 investigation data. One file of the investigation by the detective in charge of the case, and another file that has been completed as if it had been planned, even though it is the same case. Shin Soo-hyun is sure that someone high up is trying to cover it up. She is saying that there is something bad about it. This chapter starts with a man beating up someone and recording the fight. The man says this is the main event, but there are not many participants for the competition this time. He asks his cameraman about the reactions of the fights. The cameraman says it is not bad. He does not see it often in the new Facebook these days. He thinks it's because the popular one, Sun Do-hyun from Dosong High, could not make it. He asks if they should plan a new event and that they had a really good response with the girl last time, that they got a lot of points. The man asks what girl he is talking about. He does not remember. The cameraman says that a few months ago there was a girl who was good at jujutsu, the second year from Dosong High, and that he broke her knees. He says that he will remember if he sees her face. How would he remember everyone like that? He broke 1 or 2 people's knees anyway. In a local shop, Soo-hyun and Jason drinking soju. Jason tells Soo-hyun to stop drinking now as she seems to be very drunk. She shouts that it has not even been 10 bottles yet. She orders 2 more sujo bottles. So to sum it up, she says Sejun wants revenge alone for Hajin. Jason says that they are very angry too, but from his point of view, as the police have no physical evidence, so it was impossible for the investigation. Soo-hyun says that he is very romantic, he is really her type. She says that Sejun is like how Jason used to be in the past. Jason denies that he is not the type of person who doesn't make a plan before doing something. It is not a good way. At the end of the revenge, it is bound to be tragic anyway. Soo-hyun says if it is hell for a person, then the other places are also hell, so it is better to just stay there. Even if he goes to another hell, it will be better to get out of hell right away. There might be a low possibility of a good result, but if just stay still, the possibility would be 0%. Then she asks Jason that if he were Sejun, what would be needed the most right now. She tells him to think about it carefully. Detective Na asks Officer Hyung-shik, with whom he works with, about Lee Sejun, which he told him to look into. He says Sejun was the victim of an assault case filed with the district police last week. Mr. Na asks if he was seriously injured. He says that it was a minor injury, so the perpetrator was just suspended from the school. Mr. Na says that maybe Sejun is tracking down the people who he thinks are related to the Seo Hajin case. The detective thinks if he lets it be, there is going to be a bigger accident. Later, the detective asks Hyung-shik if he has any connection with the residents of the gold office tell. He says he doesn't have it at all. The entire building's CCTVs were out of order that day, and that he cannot even figure out where they went. Then he asked the detective why he is so interested in this case, as he told him to wrap it up before. Mr. Na then asks him why he decided to be a police officer. Hyung-shik answers that to make a living, then he says giggling that he is going to get a pension later on, so he became a police. Mr.Na further asks why he chose the criminal department, as it is a hard job. To this he says he chose it to look cool. Mr. Na says that his daughter says that too, that it is a cool job to catch bad guys and make them pay for their actions. But the world isn't that clean, so he again asks Hyung-shik that what would he do if his orders and the orders from higher-ups are different. Hyung-shik seems to be in confusion that Detective Na is above him too. A few days later, Do-hyun and Sejun spar again, and Sejun loses. Do-hyun tells him to not get up and that giving up will be more comfortable for him. Do-hyun says he will also stop there, and if he interrupts him one more time, he will use his bare fists. Sejun is frustrated that he cannot lend a single hit on him. Even if he tries winning using jujutsu, it is no use if he gets caught. Sejun is about to stand up and Do-hyun punches him in the face, saying not to get up. Do-hyun is also frustrated at Sejun that he is not giving up. At the gym, the guys there show concern to Sejun as his face is full of band-aids. Sejun says with a big smile on his face that he was playing soccer at school, and he assures them that he is really fine. His jujutsu instructor then tells him to follow him and that they need to talk. He asks him how many times it has been this month and if he is learning jujutsu just to fight people outside. He gets angry and tells him that if that is the case, get out of the gym right now, but if that is not the case, he tells him to say something. He says if Sejun needs help, then to tell him what is going on, whether it's school or the police. He tells him to ask for help. However, Sejun apologizes and says that he will be more careful. Sejun is reluctant to ask for help as this is his fight. The instructor tells Sejun to let him know if he needs any help. At night, the gym guys leave and tell Sejun to rest well after going home. Sejun is deep in thought that it won't work at this point. His skills are not good enough. Even before he wanted to tackle Do-hyun, he was overwhelmingly pushed back. He is worried about what to do. Jason then comes to him and asks if he is going to fight until the end. Sejun is confused about what Jason is trying to say. Jason says that his body has its own limitations, so asking if he really is going to do it until the end. Sejun says of course he just does what he has decided on already, so if Jason tells him to quit the gym then he will, but in his mid-sentence, suddenly Jason puts a headgear on Sejun and punches him. Sejun is flustered why Jason punched him out of the blue. Jason says it is fighting practice. Jason tells Sejun not to touch Do-hyun. He is surprised and asks him why. Jason says that even if Sejun swings his fists 100 times, he is only going to waste his energy. Sejun asks him how he should fight him then. He says while punching a few light blows at him that he needs to go low. He argues while being flustered about the sudden blows that if that was possible he would have done that already, and that Do-hyun knows he is going to tackle him, so he defends everything. Then Jason says that that's the point. Sejun and Do-hyun know each other's specialty. He asks him why he is always overwhelmed. Sejun answers that that's because hitting is more important. Jason punches him again, saying he is wrong. The most important thing in a real-life situation is how threatening the other person's weapon is. He says that Do-hyun's fists have speed and power. He has monster-like stamina to hold out for a long time. It is very threatening. On the other hand, Jason asks about Sejun's weapon. He says he cannot do this and that because he tires himself out trying to tackle him a few times. He uses up too much energy on an unexpected blow. Jason asks him, punching him the side of the stomach, then what he should do. Sejun says politely that he doesn't know, so tell him quickly. Jason then grabs his thighs. Sejun is taken aback as Jason was just using fists but suddenly going for a tackle now. Jason tells him to just feel it. He says that fighting is all about physical strength. It's the same for those who try to tackle. It's a huge minus in terms of physical strength for those who try to defend too. And stamina while standing and grappling are different, and that's what Jason is aiming for. He grabs another thigh and throws him in the ground. From now on, just like Do-hyun defending Sejun's tackle and attacking with only blows, Jason suggests him to defend against Do-hyun's hits and attack with his tackles. He tells him to focus on only one thing. Though it won't guarantee that he will win, but succeeding in just one takedown, the fight will turn upside down. So every night after the instructor leaves, he tells him to practice his tackle and getting hit. Sejun asks how many times a day he should practice. Jason says until he can't do it anymore. Sejun asks him if he knows boxing. To this he says that he could kill him with it. Jason helps Sejun practice taking hits. The whole process was tough for Sejun. Do-hyun did not bother him anymore because Sejun stopped attacking him as promised. But Sejun had to see those guys every day at school. Every time he saw their faces, he got frustrated. The feeling of helplessness and not being able to do anything made him suffer even more. The more he felt like that, the more he pushed himself to end it faster and move on to the next. In the practice with Jason, Sejun dodges the punches instead of taking them now. Jason tells him to watch for the upcoming knee strike. He dodges it fast and grabs his leg from behind. Jason is surprised with his new move. He asks him if he learned weird things from YouTube again. Sejun says he needs to find a way to drag Do-hyun down to the ground right. He asks if they should start over again or continue like this. Jason then counterattacks him, locking his leg. Then he suggests they should eat taekbokki together as it is Sunday today. Sejun excitedly taps. It is raining heavily. Sejun is standing in front of the gym. He is surprised to get a sudden call from Hajin. He hurriedly picks it up, worrying. He asks her if anything is wrong. She answers nonchalantly that nothing is wrong, and asks why he is in such a hurry to pick up the phone. She says she has called because it is raining now and she thought of him. She teases him about always forgetting his umbrella. He laughs, saying how she knew that he forgot the umbrella this time too. He left his umbrella at the gym, so he came back to get it. She laughs, saying that he can't do anything without her. To this, Sejun agrees right away. They are both blushing. Hajin tries to change the subject, saying she forgot what she was about to say because of him. Then she apologizes for what happened last time, at the cafe when he came to her neighborhood. She wants to apologize. She asks if it is too late to apologize now. Sejun asks why she would apologize about that, and he says that he will come to visit her soon. Then she says that she will go to meet him this time. She adds she wants to see some old men at the gym. Sejun asks her if it'd be okay and if she wants him to pick her up. She says that she is not in that bad condition. She tells him to set up a date together. She is hanging up now. She made a list of things to do. The first was to call Sejun. Second is to go out alone during the day. Third is to go out alone during the night. Fourth is to go to a crowded place, and fifth is jujutsu. She cuts the first one. She says that at this rate, she will complete it in no time. Hajin calls herself a strong girl. In the gym, they are practicing. Sejun is on top of Jason, tired after tackling him. Jason says if it is like this, then it is okay to mix it up. He moves Sejun, punching him in the face. However, Jason doubts that Sejun will win against Do-hyun, so he tells him to hope for luck. Sejun asks if there is still hope left for him. Then Jason says if he had to bet on one of them, he would bet on Do-hyun. Jason says that there is still a chance that this method will work. Sejun says that he still needs to try it first. He says that as he spends more time, it feels like he is straying away. Jason asks him if he knows rock, paper, scissors. Sejun is taken aback by Jason's sudden antics. He tells him to play with him and that he is going to play rock. At another gym, Do-hyun practices punching in a sandbag 10,000 times. His instructor comes to him, and Do-hyun asks him if he needs to clean up now. He says he will finish early today so the instructor can go home first. The instructor says that it's not that. He asks about his gym membership fee for last month. Do-hyun apologizes and says that he will pay him by the end of the week. The instructor further adds that because of the person that comes to meet him sometimes, a lot of people have quit and it is affecting him too, so what he is trying to say is that if he can't pay the fee anymore, he can stop coming to the gym from tomorrow. He is in distress. Do-hyun goes home looking down. In an alleyway, Sejun asks him if it is not too late to go home and that he will scare people if he walks like that at this hour. He looks like a criminal. Do-hyun says he was wondering where Sejun was these days. He tells him to go home today as if they fight now, one of them will die. Sejun says that it's not that, he has something to say before they fight. He says that he will only tackle him this time. Do-hyun is confused by his sudden strange challenge. Sejun suddenly goes for Do-hyun's thigh. Do-hyun throws his bag towards Sejun. He asks him if he remembers what he told him last time if they fight again. He will hit him using his bare hands. Do-hyun lands a punch on Sejun, but he blocks it. Sejun says he remembers it and asks him if he too remembers that he will beat everyone like him. Do-hyun wonders what Sejun is trying to do, dragging his arm to induce a punch with his left hand and then aiming for a tackle when the center is tilted, or he is just pretending to go for a tackle, move his legs, and sprawl to defend against the tackle then counter. Sprawl means to defend a tackle or maintain the top position, pull one's leg back, and put the center of gravity on one's upper body. Do-hyun thinks it is better to fight from a distance. He moves back. Seeing him stepping back, Sejun asks if he suddenly has a lot on his mind. Do-hyun says that he is bluffing as soon as they start. Sejun tells him not to be scared and that he will only be tackling. Do-hyun punches him. Through his blows, Sejun goes for his thigh to tackle again, but Do-hyun moves fast and pushes him towards the ground. Do-hyun finds it disgusting, but he feels that Sejun is bolder than before. He feels that he is not scared of punches anymore. Do-hyun strikes a hard punch on his cheek. Sejun avoids it. He is avoiding all the fatal blows. Sejun tries to tackle him again. It is hard to throw in a proper punch because he needs to keep defending Sejun's tackles, but even if it causes a little damage, if it accumulates. While thinking all that, Do-hyun's shoe soles open up, tripping on a stone. He loses his balance and falls backward. Then he sees Sejun rushing towards him to punch him. He guards up instinctively. Sejun says that Do-hyun can't trust anyone. He did say that he would go for tackles only. Then grabbing his thighs in midair, he pushes him to the ground. Then he tells Do-hyun that starting now, he is going to hit him. Sejun keeps on punching him while Do-hyun is guarding his face. The moment he fell, Do-hyun went into half-guard position, which is a ground grappling position where one combatant is lying on the other, with the bottom combatant having one leg entangled. It makes Sejun think if Do-hyun knows jujutsu, but he is in a much more advantageous position where he can hit him. Do-hyun cannot continue like this. He can't hold out much longer. He feels that he needs to do something. He needs to get up and stand first. He tries to get up, but Sejun holds his knee and locks him in the side position, which is when the top combatant does a guard pass and his body is to the side of the opponent's body. This is dangerous for Do-hyun. Then Do-hyun hits Sejun's face with the side of his fist non-stop. His fist is like a rock. Sejun moves his head away first, then goes for a knee on the belly, which means putting pressure on the opponent's stomach using the knee. Sejun holds the pelvis and collar with his hands and pulls them, then presses the abdomen hard with his knee. Do-hyun is in pain. Do-hyun tried to push his knee and get out. Sejun plans to attack his unprotected places, such as choking the carotid artery, but before that, he hits his face non-stop. Then he grabs his collar and does a baseball choke. It is called a baseball choke because it resembles the grip of the batter holding a baseball bat. Sejun feels like he has done it properly. He is determined to not let his guard down until the very end. Do-hyun is about to lose consciousness. Then a memory from his childhood with his parents flashes back, where he encounters a blonde tattoo guy with scars. He suddenly comes to his senses. Do-hyun punches Sejun in his ribs, and his ribs crack. He lets go of Do-hyun. Do-hyun coughs and tries to get himself together. Sejun wonders how that is even possible. He was about to faint, but where did all that energy come from? Do-hyun stands up and says that Sejun must be thinking that it is easy. From now on, he will try his best. Both are ready to fight again. Sejun throws punches at Do-hyun. He dodges them. Then Do-hyun punches him in his ribs, then his cheek, then his chin from below. Do-hyun then asks him why he is going this far. He tells him to stop here as it does not make any difference if they continue anyway. He tells him to think he just stepped on shit, so if he comes to a shit field, he will get dirty too. No matter how much one tries to change something, the world would not care. Sejun says that no matter what the world is like, he doesn't care about it and that he is just clearing the way that is filled with trash, and Do-hyun is one of them. Do-hyun understands how it is now. Then he punches him hard. Sejun gets knocked out. Do-hyun apologizes, saying that he also has something to protect. He says that they are all fighting by themselves and he doesn't want to give up either. Then he is about to say something about that day with Hajin, and at that moment the tattooed guy with scars comes from behind and asks about what day he is talking about. Do-hyun is agitated seeing him and asks him what he is doing here. Looking at the knocked out Sejun, he calls Do-hyun a bully. The guy asks while laughing if he did this to him and why he beat him up like this. Do-hyun says that he already has paid him as he promised, what he wants now. The guy tells him to relax and why he is so nervous. They have known each other for a long time now. But then he says that he calculated yesterday and no matter how hard he thinks about it, it was a big sum of money. Do-hyun cannot just make it by ripping off people, especially if he wants to pay 2 months worth of amount at once. So he says that he has come up with a conclusion that he has a very good business item that can make a lot of money, looking at Do-hyun with greedy eyes. The guy says he is good at these kinds of things, so he will teach Do-hyun how to make money easily. But Do-hyun is staring at something behind the guy with a surprised expression. Do-hyun asks what he is doing. The guy is pissed at him that he thought Do-hyun spoke informally with him. Sejun is standing behind him. Then Sejun suddenly chokes the guy from behind, saying don't cut in line. At the doctor's chamber, the doctor asks Hajin about her knee. She heard that her rehab is going well. Hajin says proudly with a smile that she won't be facing any problems with her daily life now. She asks her if she looks like a patient now. The doctor lady laughs and says that she is not an expert at rehabilitation, so she doesn't know well, but she thinks Hajin has a strong mentality. Hajin laughs and says she used to cry a lot when she was young, that Shandy had a really weak mentality. But whenever she crouched down and cried, Sejun would always sit beside her quietly. So one day she asked him why he always stood still there doing nothing. Then he said that he had to stand still so she could get up more easily. Then he asked her why and she called him childish while crying. Hajin says that he stood there and waited until she finished crying, and the next day he always did something. He went to the kids who teased her alone and told them to apologize. Then he would get beaten up and he just took it. But if asked, he would answer that he was playing soccer. So Hajin thought that she had to be strong, so that Sejun wouldn't get hurt anymore. After that, she stopped crying and started working out. The doctor lady says she wants to meet Sejun now. He told them to apologize but got beat up like that. Haji says that it's not it. She adds that this part is a bit of a headache. Even if he looks, he is very determined. If the situation doesn't look good for him or there is a hindrance, he will just go crazy and go for it. Sejun is choking the tattoo guy hard, locking his neck with his arm. He is struggling to breathe. Do-hyun is nervous. He tells Sejun that he does not know what he is doing, and he tells him to let him go, but seeing the guy's choked face, he is about to burst out laughing. The guy is pissed again that Do-hyun is smiling seeing him struggling. That guy's lackeys come, they run to them, and then Sejun throws the guy toward the lackeys. They ask the guy, their boss, if he is okay. The guy shouts and orders them to get Sejun now, to unalive him and cut him into pieces. The lackeys run to them to get them. Sejun is determined to fight them, and he is ready to throw a punch. At that moment, Do-hyun grabs his collar, telling him to move. Do-hyun punches the first lackey in his stomach, then his cheek. The second lackey strikes a punch towards Do-hyun, but he dodges that. Then he throws 2 blows in his ribs and his cheek. The third one throws a straight punch, but again he dodges that and punches him in his chin and chest. Those 3 are surprised that they could not land a single strike on him, and if he is an athlete or something. The boss guy shouts at them to do their job right and just to use tools. He then hits Do-hyun with a metal pipe in his arm while he is guarding. Do-hyun needs to keep his distance. The guy shouts at him that he can't get away with this. He is about to hit him again, and at that moment Sejun throws a brick in his face. He tells him that he is very noisy. Do-hyun is looking at Sejun. Sejun asks what he is looking at. Then he says that he is running away from here, so if Do-hyun wants to follow, he can follow him. The boss guy on the ground threatens them that once he finds them, they are gone. Do-hyun blames Sejun for this, but Sejun is right. They need to get out of here first. He asks Sejun where they are going. Sejun says he doesn't know, they just need to run away first. Do-hyun feels that it is a shame, he should have killed the guy first. After running for a while, they come near Sejun's jujutsu gym, but those lackeys catch up to them. Breathing heavily, Do-hyun asks Sejun why he didn't think of the consequences, if he even knows what kind of people they are. Sejun answers that they are bad people who take other people's money and that it is obvious. Do-hyun is dumbfounded by his answer. Sejun notices they are near his jujutsu gym. He suggests hiding there. They check out if the lackeys can see them. Do-hyun thinks that they are good for now. After a while, along with the lackeys and the boss guy are near the gym now. They say they saw those two disappear near here. They will search around here. The boss guy notices the jujutsu gym in front of him. He orders his lackeys to tell all the people who can come now to get their tools and gather here. His gut feeling says he has found them. Inside the gym, Do-hyun asks if the gym is open at this hour. He says that it is open 24/7. Do-hyun is jealous. He wants to find a gym that is open 24/7 too. Do-hyun is surprised to see inside the gym. Sejun adds that it is open because his gym instructors are here. Do-hyun sees his instructors eating ramen goofily inside the gym. The boss guy is inside along with his people with tools. He orders them to unalive all of the people inside today. They come inside the gym room. The three instructors are sitting relaxed after eating ramen. Jae-sung asks H how he can help them and if the gym door is open. The boss guy tells them that they are looking for some people and asks if they saw two tall high schoolers come in here. He says that he thinks one of them goes to this gym, so while he is being nice, he expects them to tell them while he is walking inside. Jason shouts shoes. He says that Jason scared him and why he was suddenly screaming like that. Jason tells him to take his shoes off if he wants to come in. If he steps on the mat with his shoes on, it is going to be hard to clean. The guy is annoyed that Jason spoke to him like that. He asks if that is all he has to say to him right now. Jason asks what he means, and if he does not have any business here, he can get out. If not, he will call the police. What he is waiting for then, Jason asks. One of the lackeys asks him if he has an unalive wish. Then the boss guy spits on the mat, then rubs it with his shoe. He says he is going to make the mat shiny. He asks if he is scared. He further asks if he is the instructor here and if he wants him to close the gym. He lectures Jason that it is a place to just work out. Sports and real-life situations are different. Jason makes a phone call to the police to file a report. The boss guy stops him from making the report by hitting his hand with a pipe. He mocks him that he wants to make a report, calling him an idiot. He asks what he is going to do now. He threatens Jason that he will give him one last chance to bring him those two or he will destroy the gym. The guy notices the bullet and knife scars on Jason's body. He asks him if those are cigarette marks. He wonders out loud about what he does. He asks if Jason lived somewhere and if there is anything he believes in. Jason says that he will regret it. The guy demands that he speak clearly so that he can easily figure it out. Jason mocks him as if he is speaking on a mic. He says that he is going to regret not letting him report to the police as he is not a minor. The boss guy says no matter how young he looks. Jason stops him mid-sentence, his cigarette off with his finger, saying that it is just his standard that those over 20 are adults who are responsible for their actions and do not have chances and he will regret it and he will agree with him. Then the boss guy threatens that his life is gonna burn now. He says that he is a jerk anyway. He asks if he is a family and that family sells out to each other too. Then Jason, out of nowhere, says that he will tell him those two's whereabouts. The boss guy is surprised by his sudden change of mind. Then he says if he plays rock, paper, scissors, if the guy wins then he will tell him. He asks Jason why he is suddenly playing rock, paper, scissors and if he is joking with him. Jason tricks him into playing it. The guy is flustered if he should play rock, then Jason suddenly slaps him saying forget that. Inside a room of the gym, worriedly Do-hyun texts his mom to leave the home and stay somewhere else. Sejun, sitting beside him, asks how he can play on the phone in this situation. He says he contacted his mom. It will be dangerous if those guys go to his house. Sejun then says that he accepts it. Do-hyun asks him if it will be okay as those guys are mean and he does not know what they will do. Sejun says that since Jason told them to hide, they should keep an eye on the situation first. Then he tells Do-hyun to finish what he was going to say earlier about that day. Do-hyun thinks to himself that it's all ruined anyway, so it won't matter if he tells him now. Do-hyun says what he knows is that there are martial arts competitions that are held secretly at some schools. It is a very simple system. It's a tournament format. Each person has to pay a participation fee. The higher the rank, the more money from the participation fee they will get as the prize money. Then they hear a scream. After getting slapped, the boss guy threatens Jason that today someone is going to live. A lackey comes to the boss showing concern, but he shouts at them to stop slacking around and beat him up. Unfazed Jason says he is terrible at rock, paper, scissors, so he won't tell anything as Jason won. A lackey rushes toward him with his wooden stick. Jason says he isn't in the mood today to fight. He blocks the hit using his arm, the stick breaks. Then he iconed KS the lackey in his knee joint, and the joint severs. Another lackey comes towards him screaming. Jason punches him in the mouth, he goes flying. The boss guy and Gain shouts at them saying not to go after Jason one at a time. He orders them to go at him all at once. He orders them to get the two who are standing behind Jason too. Jae-sung tells Young-hoon to call the police if he has his phone with him. He says it is near the entrance, so they can't take the phone now. A lackey shouts to catch them as hostage. They are pretending to be scared and screaming, saying how to fight against someone with weapons and all. Jason then picks up a belt and swings at the lackey's face. Jason says that he hates gangsters very much. Jason ties the belt around the lackey's neck, choking him. He says that starting now, those with weapons will break something, and if they are not lucky, it could be their neck or their back. After choking him hard, he falls. Jason requests them to not throw away their weapons and to come at him with them. One of the lackeys says he is just showing off and to attack him all at once and see how long he can last. Jason slaps the lackey who was holding a wooden stick and then breaks his arm. When another lackey comes to attack with a baseball bat, Jason uses him as a shield, getting him hit in his head. Then Jason ties the bat with the belt and takes it from the lackey. He throws the bat towards the lackey, but he moves away instinctively and the other lackey behind him takes the hit in his face. He asks Jason what he is. Jason pulls his arm from his shoulder, pushing him to the ground, trying to dislocate it. He screams in pain. Jason answers his question from earlier about what he is. He says that he is the Grim Reaper and dislocates his arm. Jae-sun alerts Jason that there's another one coming from behind. The lackey is going to hit him with a metal pipe, but Jason grabs his arm and breaks it. He screams in pain and Jason ties the belt around his neck and slams him on the mat. Jason asks for the next lackey. He tells them to come to him quickly. He wants to go eat tteokbokki for dessert. The boss guy says that he is such a cruel guy. He asks if he is in some sort of special force like in the movies. He further says that even if that is true, if someone is taken hostage in the movies, the main character will sacrifice themselves to save them. Jae-sung and Young-hoon Do are taken hostage by his two lackeys. The boss guy walks towards Jason with a big knife hiding behind him while Jason is facing his gym guys. He plans to stab him. Jason notices it and says not to cross the river where they cannot return from and that he will have to risk his life as soon as he uses that. Jason suddenly seems gigantic and intimidating to him. Jason then tells him to do a one-on-one with his guys. Jason and Wang-hoon are taking down the two other lackeys that took them as hostage. Siwo taking them hostage is not working. The boss guy ignores his warning and goes to stab him using the knife. Unbothered Jason says so he chose to cross the river. But then Do-hyun suddenly comes and punches the guy in his cheek. He says no smoking indoors. The boss guy falls on the mat dumbfounded. He asks Do-hyun if he has gone crazy, and he says that he is speechless. Then he orders his lackey to bring him his knife is a bit far from him. Sejun kicks the knife away and says that a customer is coming soon, so he can play with his knife another time. The police arrest Juchan Jian, the man with tattoos. Juchan Jian tells the police officer to not push him. It really bothers him that a lowly police officer is touching someone like him. This makes another police officer get mad and say that they won't be using their hands to touch him anymore, and instead delivers him a hard calf kick which sends him down to the ground. The detective calls Juchan Jian a punk and tells his that he has no way out of this situation and that he shouldn't do something rash in the current situation because if he does, they'll finish him off for good. The detective then tells Juchan Jian that he will be given a chance to tell the police about his whole gangster business. Juchan Jian breaks into a hysterical laugh, asking if they're kidding him or not. Juchan Jian says that even if he is like this, he is still innocent until proven guilty in a courtroom, so a mere detective can do nothing to him. So they should stop treating him like a convicted criminal already. The detective then says that the term used to describe that is called presumptive innocence before hitting Juchan Jian with a thudding headbutt. This rocks both the detective and Juchan. However, the detective takes this opportunity to ask the police officer if he saw Juchan Jian attack an on-duty police detective, to which the officer says he did. This leaves Juchan dumbfounded because it was the detective who had hit him, and not the other way around yet, they're still blaming it on him. The detective then asks everyone if anyone had gotten injured, to which they say that some have gotten scratches and stuff. However, Jason tells the detective that they're fine and that no one received a major injury during this whole conundrum. Jason, however, tells the detective to take off his shoes as he is standing on their practice mat. The detective is embarrassed and quickly takes off his shoes, and after doing so, he informs the lot that one of them needs to go with him to the police station to present an eyewitness testimony against Juchan Jian, because Juchan Jian is going to call a lawyer and they should do a deep dive into the scenario before that and try to figure out all the problems around it. Sun Do-hyun volunteers to help cooperate in this case as he reckons that all the issues that went down here was due to a fault he made. Lim Sejun is left wondering just how much Do-hyun is going to tell them because the police are already making a big fuss about Seo Ha-jin's case. The scene changes to the police station, where in a lockup, we see a livid Juchan Jian going off on how he is innocent and that whatever happened was none of his fault. He suggests that he was just talking before he was attacked unceremoniously by them, and his men, who are all injured and battered up, are proof of what happened. They're the victims, and he demands medical service for everyone. The detective is having none of it as he hits Juchan Jian and tells him to lower his voice in the police station. He also tells them to keep calm as the hospital is already full dealing with an accident, so they should wait until then. He can't do anything, nor does he care if they're hurt or not. We then see Lim Sejun and Sun Do-hyun talking to the police chief. The police chief tells them that he is glad that they managed to put an end to it before things got worse, because there was a chance that it could have gotten much worse. He says that Detective Jang noticed a patrol car while he was walking and went to the scene. He asks Lim Sejun if he reported it, to which he says he did. The chief then hands over a card to them saying that they can call him if they ever get into trouble like this again. He then asks them how they got into a fight with such dangerous guys, because these guys are known for doing some very bad things. Sun Do-hyun tries to answer, but he is cut off by Lim Sejun, who tells the chief that they got into a fight because Juchan Jian was asking his senior to pay back a debt. Sejun goes on to say that he didn't give it much thought and got angry in the moment, and that's how it went down. Do-hyun is left confused as to why Sejun is making stuff up. The chief asks another question saying if these things went down the way it is because of Ha-jin's case. Sejun denies it entirely, saying that it has nothing to do with Ha-jin's case. Sun Do-hyun is left wondering if Sejun is doing all this so that he can catch the people related to Seo Ha-jin's case on his own. The police chief then reconfirms if that's all, and then says that they can call him if they remember something crucial and that they were good to go. And so the entire crew leaves and they're worried about the harsh sunlight. Jason is hungry and they all wanted to have hot gukbap because that's what they do traditionally after giving a testimony to the police. They later decide to eat tteokbokki. Jason asks if they all are good to go and they're all fine because it's an off day and they can. As they are all looking forward to go, Do-hyun stays back and apologizes for what went down in the gym, saying that it was his fault that things got messed up. He says that if they need help in cleaning up the gym, he can help. Jason calls out to him, calling him a boxing bully, and asks him if he likes to eat tteokbokki, basically asking him to join them. Scene changes to the restaurant where we see the boys enjoying their time. Everyone is making fun of the big and buffed up Sun Do-hyun, who is unable to eat spicy food. After a while, Jason asks Sun Do-hyun how much he owes to the Juchan Jian faction. to which he says that the debt keeps going up due to the monthly interest rate. He knew the monthly interest rate would be high, but he still had to do it at that point. He says that he paid the last installment with his mother's and his own salary, but tis didn't make much difference because of the ridiculous interest rate. Everyone calls him stupid and judges him for what he did. Do-hyun admits on being trash himself. However, Jason asks if he is recyclable trash. Jason tells son Do-hyun that if he gives him another chance in life, will he make it worth it? He offers to pay all of Do-hyun's debt in exchange of having son Do-hyun working for him. This makes Do-hyun cry, who is overwhelmed by the favor. However, Jason tells him to regroup as they need to work soon. Then the scene changes to a high school, where everyone is shocked seeing Do-hyun and Sejun coming to school together. We then see Lim Sejun and son Do-hyun walking down the school stairs and talking. Son Do-hyun asks Lim Sejun if he is leaving for the gym as soon as they're done with school, to which Lim Sejun says that he is going to go to the gym after school and that son Do-hyun should join him there because there's a lot of cleanup work that needs to done by them. Sejun also tells Do-hyun that he should be looking to get a role at the group soon and get settled into it quickly. Other students are angry and are wondering what Sejun and Do-hyun are talking about all of a sudden. One of them says that they're probably teaming up to become the representatives of second-year students of the school's resident faction. The other one is very angry because his own seat is at stake for this one and he is really angry. He wants to beat up Lim Sejun. However, the other one points out Sejun has already defeated him once. To which the guy says that he was caught off guard back then and if they fight again, he'll come up on top. Then we see the guy handing over the collection record of the second-year students to the leader son Do-hyun, who asks if this is all they've got. To which the guy says that it indeed is, and that is because of Lim Sejun's constant interference. He also says that he will beat up Lim Sejun again, so son Do-hyun shouldn't worry. Son Do-hyun has a laugh about it, hearing that the guy had beaten Sejun. However, he gets serious later and says that he wants the name of everyone involved in the collection of second year's money, and that he will call them in and handle them one-on-one. The guy is a bit taken aback by this as he wonders if the monster will take care of the second year's business by himself from now on. Then, we see the scene move on to where the guy shows son Do-hyun Yoon Hyun-soo from Sejun's class. Yoon Hyun-soo is wondering if he will have to spread out the money now because he was able to save it up thanks to Sejun. However, now if the leader collects it himself, he would be left with no choice. However, surprisingly enough, we see son Do-hyun get down on his knees in front of the class and Yoon Hyun-soo. Then we see a mini flashback where Jason is asking son Do-hyun what he thinks apologizing is for. Do-hyun says that isn't apologizing something people do for the one receiving it, to which Jason says it is, but there are people in this world who apologize for their own self. They apologize despite the opposite person not wanting an apology or wanting to forgive. They do it for themselves. So he gives Do-hyun an advice that he should always apologize sincerely and honestly, even if that takes a lot of time. It should be done in that manner only. Because an apology is something done to make the people you harmed in some way feel that they're not in the wrong and that it isn't their fault. Then we come back to the current time where we see a bowed-down son Do-hyun apologizing to Yoon Hyun-soo. He apologizes for all the harm he caused to them and promises to not do that ever again. Thing angers his underling, who is asking why his senior is doing what he is doing. Do-hyun tells him that if he doesn't want to do it, he is free to leave, but Do-hyun suggests he apologizes too. The underling guy is still mad and can't comprehend what caused his leader to become like this. Son Do-hyun says that he is no longer going to collect money from everyone and that they won't be participating in any competitions in the future. The underling asks what made son Do-hyun decide all this on his own, to which Do-hyun gets pissed off and asks if he can't make decisions on his own. Do-hyun further goes on to say that he is open to a fight if it is causing too much issue. The guy gets scared and quickly goes away from the area, saying that he isn't ready for these things yet. While leaving, he is wondering what happened for Do-hyun to become this way when he sees Lim Sejun. He asks Lim Sejun if they used some sort of drugs to become like this, to which Sejun says that he is free to think about whatever he wants to think about. The guy is angry and says that he will beat up Lim Sejun. Lim Sejun is excited and wants to fight away. However, the guy isn't ready and he makes an excuse to get away. Lim Sejun is content with it because he also has way more important things to attend to. Back in the classroom, we see son Do-hyun insisting on staying on his knees, but Yoon Hyun-soo tells him to get up as it makes him uncomfortable. Do-hyun apologizes once again for putting Yoon Hyun-soo and others through trouble all this time without knowing their situation, and while he doesn't expect them to forgive him, he just wants them to know that they shouldn't blame themselves and instead blame Lee Jae-suk. Do-hyun then says that he will slowly return everyone's money back to them one by one, and he shows Yoon Hyun-soo if that's the amount that was taken from him, to which Yoon Hyun-soo says yes and asks if he can now come to school freely without having any tension about giving money or get beaten up for it. This shocks Do-hyun, who realizes the awful things he had done to them, and he tells him that it's okay from now on. The scene then changes to Lim Sejun standing outside, as we see Seo Ha-jin jump on his back and put him in a chokehold. She asks him why he has been ignoring her messages and lets him know that she is cold from standing and waiting for him in this kind of weather. After she breaks the choke, we see Sejun feeling the after effects of it, and Ha-jin says that he has gotten weaker after he lost weight. Sejun jokingly says that he lost his fat armor and asks if she messaged him today. She says that it is indeed a special day and that's why she's out with him. Sejun then makes fun of Ha-jin's dressing sense, calling her clothes that of an old man's. She says that it's the modern style and that he knows nothing about what's cool these days. Sejun then laughs and offers her a hot pack to help fight the cold, which makes Seo Ha-jin blush a bit. She then asks him if he wants to eat anything, to which Sejun says that he does want to and has even made a list for things he wants to eat. He asks Ha-jin what the number one priority is on that list. She guesses pasta and off they are to have some pasta. On their way, Ha-jin asks Lim Sejun if there's anything wrong with him at school. Sejun's father has been worried about him as he often comes back with scars and scratches, and he assumes that Sejun must have gotten into some issue at school. Ha-jin wants to ask if this related to her problem, but she is interrupted midway by Sejun, who tells her that the scars and scratches were from jujutsu training. Ha-jin then punches Sejun hard on his arm. Sejun thinks that a lot has happened since the thing with son Do-hyun. However, he doesn't want to let Ha-jin know of this. If Ha-jin gets to know of this, she will rip him apart, so he will need to keep this a secret and move at his own pace. However, he doesn't want to think of that. He wants to enjoy the day and forget about everything bad to make good memories. After all, it's Christmas. After that, we see Son Do-hyun and Lim Sejun walking at their school ground and talking about what they need to do next. Lim Sejun asks Son Do-hyun about the competition. He asks Do-hyun how many schools besides theirs enter this competition, to which Do-hyun says that there are about 10 schools besides them that enter this competition. Do-hyun also explains to Sejun that not everyone participates in the same discipline, as there are many. He himself had participated in the mixed martial art discipline to minimize overall damage, but there is also an extreme discipline where it's no holds barred, anything goes, including objects from the surrounding. Son Do-hyun says that the more dangerous the discipline in question is, the bigger the winning prize money amount is. Do-hyun basically makes it clear that even if Sejun participates, it'll be hard for him to figure out who the people who messed with Seo Ha-jin is. He explains that he couldn't see who the guys were last time because of him participating in MMA and due to how the natures of such competitions. Not even Lee Jae-suk must know who were involved in the Seo Ha-jin incident. Do-hyun also adds that it's not only about the participants, but it's more about the hosts and organizers of such competitions. Despite being very experienced in these sort of things, Son Do-hyun has no clues about these organizers and they all come off as shady. He only met one of them when he unexpectedly ran into one of them and got offered to work with them. They offer young people a ridiculous amount of money to do things, which is why people like events and competitions of this kind of nature. Sejun then says that even if he participates, there will be no guarantee of him finding out who messed with Seo Ha-jin. Do-hyun says that it won't be easy at all because one of the organizers always keeps an eye on everything, including the participants, and makes all the calls and arrangements to make sure things go his way. That man is called Manager Kim. Then we see the scene change to an elevator where a man donning a suit and wearing glasses is entering a lift, and just then, the police detective from before, John Hyung-sik, enters the lift and hits the switch to go to the 20th floor. Hyung-sik asks where he wants to go to the mysterious man. The man, put on the spot, reluctantly hits the switch to go to the 19th floor, and tells Hyung-sik that he will be going a floor below. The mysterious man then asks John Hyung-sik if he is new to the apartment, as he had never seen him before in the apartment. He also tells Hyung-sik that the officetel is a nice place and very convenient to live in. The mysterious man then gets out of the elevator and we see Hyung-sik wondering that he has never seen anyone coming to this particular floor before, but maybe he is just overreacting to a small thing. However, he can't move on from this and stops the elevator to get out because after all, detectives are supposed to overreact. Hyung-shik believes the man is involved in the case he is researching and starts to track his steps. He thinks that if the mysterious man lives here, then he must open a door and get inside. However, that doesn't mean that he isn't related to the case. Even though investigations are done based on concrete evidence, sometimes one must trust their senses to gain such important evidence. We then see Hyung-shik hiding behind a wall as the mysterious man approaches the door of a flat. As Hyung-shik is stalking him and waiting to see what he does, his phone rings. He is panicked and can't believe that this is the time where the phone had to go off ringing. The mysterious man has a smirk on his face as John Hyung-shik picks up a fake call and says loudly that he is taking the stairs to maintain his health to make it seem like a natural thing. However, when he is done with that act, Hyun-shik looks back to see that the mysterious man is nowhere to be seen. It's like he disappeared. He goes forward to check that the room he was standing in front of was room number 1903, and he decides to investigate who resides in that room and such. Just then we hear a person still talking on the phone, being confused by what Hyung-shik had said. Hyung-shik then starts talking on the phone, only to hear that Juchon Jeona and his gangmates were all let go by the police. John Hyung-shik is angered by this as he can't comprehend as to why they would leave those gangsters after how hard they worked to capture them in the first place. He asks them how they are supposed to investigate these criminals when they aren't even near their controls. The person on phone informs Hyung-shik that they let them go because of an order from the higher-ups who said that having these injured gangsters detained without any health care is a bad idea and could get them into serious human rights violation issues. John Hyung-shik still doesn't understand why they would let them go because he doesn't even understand why criminals like Juchon Jeon and co have human rights to begin with. Hyung-shik then tells them that he is coming to the place he was talking to. Then we see the mysterious man get out of the room as we see him talking to someone on the phone. He tells the person he was talking to that the detective had just left and now that it's fine. The person asks the mysterious man on who this detective is, and he replies that he still has no idea about the detective and that he needs to dig his teeth into it to know who he is. However, the mysterious man guesses that this man is very much related to the case of Seo Ha-jin. After all, it's a certified and official case. He then says that he wants to set up the office tel accordingly now. We then see Juchon Jeon walking out from prison after being let go. One of his lackeys says that Juchon did great work to get out so quickly, to which Juchon tells him to wait and watch. The lackey then informs Juchon Jeon that the lawyer had told them that it would be much more tough this time and it hasn't yet even been 48 hours since their arrest. Juchon Jeon says that things have gone well then when considering everything together. However, he asks the lackeys to gather everyone in the office room, if they're in good enough shape to move around. He tells them to leave out the one with long hair and bring everyone else, as he can't let them leave in peace for too long. We then see one of the lackeys come out from the room and make a worried face. This angers Juchon Jeon as according to him, no gangsters should make funny faces like that. The lackey reluctantly tells him that there's someone there and that he should come inside the room immediately. Still angered by being told what to do, Juchon Jeon goes on ahead to see who it is and is left shocked. The boss of his faction is here, and he is totally taken aback by this as he can't believe why the boss is here. He came all the way from Busan. He asks the boss why he came here from Busan and what business he might have to attend. The boss says that he will be straightforward and asks him whether he was doing any illegal work, to which Juchon Jeon quickly denies, saying that they only do legal and good work. Juchon Jeon is wondering why the boss has so many more scars than him. The boss isn't satisfied by this answer to his question and he asks again, to which Juchon Jeon reluctantly says that it depends on the person's perspective on what they see as bad or good, but it's just with the nature of the gangster life to do some things here and there. Pissed off by this, the boss throws his ashtray filled with cigarettes right at the head of Juchon Jeon. His lackeys are bothered by this and they try to rush to him and check on Juchon. However, they're stopped by two bigger men, who tell them to stop and go backwards if they don't want to get beat up by them. Juchon Jeon is shocked by this sudden outburst and asks again why the boss came back after 10 years and is suddenly behaving like this. The boss tells him that he had warned him not to play around with contracts and hurt people. The boss then asks him to bring out the contract with Sun Do-hyen's father. Juchon Jeon is shocked by the fact that the boss knows about Sun Do-hyen. The boss replies by saying that he should ask this question to the person currently occupying his chair. Once again shocked, Juchan Jian wonders who had taken claim to his covenant chair. Then we hear a person talking to Jason on the phone, telling Jason how Juchan got hit by an ashtray suddenly and how it was funny. The person then turns around and it turns out it's a woman. We then see the lackeys of Juchan Jian being held back outside the room by the new bodyguards. One of the bodyguards decides to go inside while the other looks outside. The lackeys of Juchan Jian ask what's going on inside and insist on going there. However, one of the bodyguards won't let get past him and suggests that they stay outside for their own good and safety. The other bodyguard makes his way inside and asks if he should stay inside and work or go outside. The new boss lady tells him to stay there. Juchan Jian is confused as he has no idea what they're talking about, who they are. Juchan asks the boss lady who she is and what is her relationship with Sun Do-hyun. The boss lady says she doesn't know much about Sun Do-hyun. However, a guy with long hair and boring eyes asked for her help and that's why she is here. She then asks Juchan Jian to bring her the contract they had with Sun Do-hyun, as the principal has already been paid, so she wants to check what there is in the contract. Juchan Jian is livid and asks her what businesses she has with them for her to behave this way and why is she insisting on getting into his matters. One of the bodyguards laughs and says that he likes it how brave Juchan is. Juchan Jian then turns around and starts asking the boss why this woman has taken his chair and is now taking care of his business and tries to confirm if he still is a member of the faction. However, as he is distracted, the new boss lady breaks a pot on his head, which makes him fall down. The boss of the faction says that Juchan must have really hurt his head from all the attacks. However, Juchan Jian is more pissed off by this and threatens to not hold back because the opponent is a lady and finish her off for good. But the boss lady has none of it and throws her jacket to his face, blurring his vision and delivering a straight jumping roundhouse kick to his face. She keeps up the momentum by jumping up in the air and delivering a double stomp to his chest, leaving him gasping for breath from the pressure. However, he still doesn't know when to give up and still talks trash and wants to beat up the new boss lady for interfering in his business and now attacking her. The boss lady says that she likes his attitude and says that she enjoys hitting people like him. The boss lady then keeps hitting Juchan Jian with repetitive hammer fists to Juchan's face. Juchan Jian is left bewildered by her attacks and asks her to let him go from her grasp. The boss lady is enjoying this. She says that she wants to see his facial expressions and attitude change as she picks him out joint by joint. She grabs Juchan's arm and uses her knee as a leverage board to put pressure and break it. Juchan screams in agony, but he still keeps threatening her, saying that such things won't scare a man like him and that he will eventually mind her family and friends and do bad things to them. She is annoyed by his persistent threats and asks her bodyguard, Young-ho, to come and help her. She tells Young-ho that Juchan's voice annoys her and that he should help hit up the annoying prick. Young-ho says that he has worn his socks for 2 straight days and maybe he should put that in his mouth to shut Juchan Jian up. He then asks the boss if he has worn his socks for longer, to which the boss says that he has for around 5 days. They decide to put both of their socks in Juchan's mouth and shut it up with tape. The boss lady says that she won't be talking to him until she breaks all the fingers on his left hand. She starts breaking off all his fingers one by one, leaving him down and out. After that, they take out the tape from his mouth and ask him if he wants to talk or should they break another 5 fingers from his right hand. He immediately tells them that he will rather talk. Juchan Jian asks if the boss lady wants the contract of Sun Do-hyun. If so, he is ready to give it. She says that she indeed wants that and wants other things from him too. She then asks Juchan Jian about what he knows about the dark web. The scene then changes, and we see a beat-up Juchan Jian talking on the phone with Jason. Juchan apologizes to Jason, who tells him that he promised to make Juchan regret it, and he has done what he said. Juchan says that he does regret it, and he also informs Jason that they've written off the debt that was on Sun Do-hyun's name. Jason then calls out Sun Do-hyun, who was cleaning the mat, and tells him that his debt has been cleared off as of now, and that the legal papers of it will be given to him the day after. There's a sense of speechlessness in Sun Do-hyun, who reacts subtly to the news. Jason then tells him to clean up the mat nicely. After that, they'll go out and have dinner together. We then see Do-hyun sending a message to his mother, informing her about the debt being cleared off for good. After sending the message, we finally see Sun Do-hyun break into tears as he cries in the toilet.